Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I'm out at Julius Kleiner Park, and I've got the OG, the original DJI Mavic Mini with me. You know, there's so much excitement going around now about the Mavic 3 that I thought I would bring this little guy out to go for a quick flight. And you know, there's still some advantages to this little drone that are worth talking about. Number one is price. So if you look around a little bit and are a careful shopper, I think you can pick up the Fly More kit of the original Mavic Mini for about 150 bucks. I've seen refurb on Amazon, the whole kit, the whole Fly More kit with 3 batteries, etc., for like $199, I think. That is just an unbelievable value for this drone. It does a lot of good things really well. And you know, it's the one that started it all. It started the Mini revolution, and you know, it's one of those products that really changed the way people looked at the hobby. And now, of course, there's tons of competitors out there. I would put it right up there with the original Phantom series of drones, the original Mavic Pro back in 2016. This guy made that big of a difference when it came out in November of, I believe it was November of 2019. Just a phenomenal product that just opened up this hobby to a lot more people and a lot more opportunities to fly. So anyway, I just want to take it up and prove that it's still a viable product. And if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend over $1,000 on a whole kitted out DJI Mini 3, you can buy the original Mavic Mini with a Fly More kit and have a whole lot of fun. So let's take a second and let's look at what's in the kit. Okay, here's the kit. So what I like is that it comes in this little suitcase type carrying case. I like this better than those bags. The other thing that you're going to notice about this is it's way more compact, and that is primarily due to the smaller controller. It has the original controller where the phone goes in underneath. It's a Wi-Fi based controller, so you don't get OcuSync, but it's the best Wi-Fi I think that I've ever seen on a drone before. And then of course you get the charge hub, and I've already taken the battery out of there to put in the drone, but it holds 3 batteries, charges them, etc. And then all the extra goodies, you know, extra props, etc. in there. And underneath here is where I have the charge brick. Yeah, the original one comes with its own charge brick, as opposed to the super expensive Mini 3 that does not. So let's take a look at how the drone fits in here. One of the problems with this packaging was, and I don't know if you can read it there, but they had instructions on just how to put the drone in the case. And you can see I use a little device to hold those props together. What would happen is those props, if they were in there wrong, they would rest on this little shelf right here, and they would deform, and there were problems, and I experienced myself. We called it uncommanded descent, and it was an issue, and you just simply had to replace the props and you were good to go, which is what I did. So yeah, that's about it for the kit. And like I said, there's a lot of goodness there, and I think if you can pick this thing up for a couple $100, you're probably going to do pretty good and have a good time with the drone. And I did bring the Corvette with me out to the park today. So okay, we've looked at that. Let's quit messing around. Let's get this bird in the air. Hey, okay, I've got the little DJI Mavic Mini fired up, and we're ready to fly. However, when I first fired it up, there was a Fly Safe database update, and then there was a very brief message on screen that told me something about adjusting wireless in accordance with local laws or something. So just out of an abundance of caution, I shut everything down. After I was done with the update, I shut everything down and fired it back up. So looks like we're clear to go. It is telling us we're in a warning zone where you have to be below 150 meters. Well, 120 meters is max legal anyway, so I'm not sure why they bother with that. But anyway, it is telling me that it wants a compass calibration, so we'll do that. Let's look at the safety menu. I see we're down to 86% battery, so this isn't going to be a terribly long flight. So I'm going to click calibrate on that compass and get that done real quick. DJI makes that so easy. That just took a second. So let's see, return to home altitude is 30 meters. That's plenty. Yeah, max altitude is set. We're not going to be going more than 2 kilometers away, so that max distance is fine. IMU is normal. Everything's in normal. We can look at the battery info, and that we're looking good there. They're within nominal voltage. Now, what I will want to add about these batteries that is an advantage to this drone is they are lithium ion, so you can leave them charged, unlike lithium polymer batteries that you have to put them, and it's telling me gimbal stuck, so that could be, well, why do you think the gimbal's stuck? Look at that, somebody didn't take the cover off. So, yeah, there it goes through its calibration, and I think we're good. So I'm going to say let that be a lesson. Pre-flight check. That is certainly something I should have caught in a pre-flight check, so I would encourage you to do so. I got caught up in some of those other things that were going on, and you can't do that. You need to use your checklist, and you need to make sure that you get everything. So learn from my mistake there. I'm going to switch to the, I call it the radar. It's the attitude indicator. And let's see, looks like we're in 2.7K. We're in auto. I'm going to start recording now. Okay, a little bit of a delay there, folks. My GoPro Hero 10 shut down. I've been having a problem with that camera. It just spontaneously shuts down. So I switched to my old reliable Hero 9, and maybe I'll just throw that Hero 10 in the ditch or something. No, I'll get a hold of GoPro again. Now, this is the second time I've been through that with GoPro. They've replaced that camera once already. It used to just shut down and freeze up and not even tell you. Well, now at least it beeps when it shuts down, so I knew it shut down. In any case, the Hero 9 seems to work great, so let's start recording again, and let's get this bird in the air. So let's do an automated takeoff on the app. Okay, so there's the little drone, and yeah, we've got that warning. We did get, it did find the home point there, so let's bring it into the camera here, let you take a good look at it. So there's a little guy. I mean, that's the original Mavic Mini right there. You know, looks like the other DJI Mini drones, you know, from the Mavic 2 on. So just a really a neat little guy. Now, what I'm going to tell you performance-wise is this drone is going to be more on par with, say, the Autel Nano. It's not the most powerful drone, and today is pretty mild winds, so you know, it can handle a little bit of wind, but certainly not like the either the Mini SE nor the Mini 2. So we're going to do our droney in just a little bit different direction than I usually do when I'm out here. So let's do that right now. Reverse and up. Right by a tree there. But this guy still performs pretty darn good, as you can see. It's a pretty neat little drone. So let's pick up that camera again and kind of get to that rule of thirds. We got a nice flat horizon, which you love. So you guys have seen the park here before. There's a few people out here today, so we're going to try and be careful and stay out of folks' way as much as we can. Let's go out over the pond here and take a look. Love the, it's one of the things I love about this park is there's just always cool stuff to look at. So yeah, let's get out over the pond here, and maybe we can do just a little bit of a manual orbit around the fountain there, which is what I often do with a lot of drones. And this guy, so we are just in P mode, which in DJI speak on the Mavic Mini is kind of normal mode. So let's drop down just a little. Let's drop a little altitude. Get in close. We should be able to get pretty close to this guy. And I don't see a lot of waterfowl here, so I'm not as worried about a duck or a goose or something impeding us. And again, I'm in normal mode here. And I'm kind of bringing the drone in as I go around here. A little faster than I really want to go. There's a duck there. Let's bring it in a little closer. Yeah, okay, I'm kind of losing it here a little bit, guys. And it's telling me about that altitude zone on screen here, which we're very aware of. So anyway, that's I guess the point of that is that this drone is very easy to control. And I think, and again, I was not even in Cine mode, I was in P mode. So what I'm going to tell you is, even if you've never flown a drone before, I think you probably would have pretty good luck with this guy. So look at this. I was closer to those trees than I thought I was. So let's go up a little bit, and let me drop the camera down as we go. And there's nobody there, so we can go over the top of this. This is the Julius Kleiner's, who this park is named after. That's his statue down there. And I'm not gonna go down. What maybe we can do here is, let's get the camera straight down. Let me see if I can get over the top of him. And we'll go down here a little bit. Move over the top of him a little bit. And let's do that, let's just kind of do an upward spin over the statue. And let me get centered here a little bit more. So all of this is going to be on the left stick. So I am going to spin the drone to the right as I rise. So I'm pushing it at about a 45-degree angle as we go up. And you get that spin as the drone goes straight up, which I always think is a cool effect. And let me kind of gradually speed it up as we go. Whoa, that was too fast. Well, I kind of blew that. And then one of the things you can do is do a reveal with the camera as you bring it up, and bring the camera up and you can see where you're at. So I don't know, that was kind of fun. I didn't, that was far from perfect, but you kind of get the idea of what you're doing there. Now, of course, if you get the new Mini 3, that stuff can be done with aircraft signal interference. It says, again, this is just a Wi-Fi drone. We're roughly 200 meters away. So, and I was kind of standing behind a tree, so I kind of moved myself out there. And we're only, let's go a little bit higher. Let's get about 50 meters high. And let's go over the other pond here. And we can show you that. I don't see any people down there right now, so we're good to go by here. And then again, it's telling me about the altitude zone that we're in here. We are well below that. But you do have to pay attention. While I was standing here getting everything ready to go, a big Delta 737 flew over the top of us here, and you know, I don't know how low he was, but I can tell you I was able to read the Delta and the tail number on the side of the aircraft, so he was fairly low. I'm sure he looked lower than what he really was. Let me I'm going to go into Cine mode here and see if I can do an orbit around this guy, this statue, or sculpture, sorry. Trying to get the right terminology here. And if you've watched any other, and I'm getting a little bit of breakup on FPV, yeah, aircraft signal interference it says, but we got it back now. If you watched any of my other videos, you've seen me talk about these sculptures before, and I kind of blew that just a little bit and dropped that camera down somewhat. There's actually 3 of them in the park there, and they're pretty cool. They're made out of I guess metal that was in a bridge that used to be on this property. And then the other thing that you see here, and I'm going to go do an arc around the other way, that's a senior center, and I guess I'm officially a senior citizen. I'm 66 years old now, but I've never set foot in that place. You know, maybe the day will come, I don't know, but at any rate, it's neat that the city provides those kind of services. And they also have a kitchen in there that they do Meals on Wheels, etc. So that's a good thing. Let's pick that camera back up. And what I think we should do is, you know, there's a lot of talk about the speed of the Autel Nano Plus. Let's throw this guy into sport mode. So we're in sport mode, and let's head straight back and let's see how fast we can get it up to here. So I am full stick forward now, 10 meters per second, 11, 12. Yeah, 13. We hit 13 there briefly, and I'm telling you, as a general rule, that's about as fast as you're going to get the Autel Nano Plus drone up to. I mean, if you have it just in normal ludicrous mode, they call it, that's about 13 meters per second is it. Now, there's a mode that you can put it in, and I am coming back to us here. In fact, I'm going to go back to P mode and come back to us here, and maybe we can get a little lower down here and take a look at the Corvette. One of my favorite subjects, right? There's the drone. I got eyes on the drone, and I want to make sure that I'm not going over the top of anybody or dropping the drone down into any trees, etc. Or you see that light pole in front of us. Whoop. Yeah, just a little too fast. So I'm going to go into C mode so that we slow everything down here a little bit. And that is a handy little device to have. So the one thing that again, I'm doing just an offhand comparison here, but the controls on this guy, it allows you to, one of the issues that I have with my Nano Plus is that it doesn't descend very fast, and part of that I think is a problem with the sensors on it. But again, this guy, it's very easy for me to put the drone right where I want it, and I am kind of doing a combination of looking at my FPV screen here and watching the drone. Because there's a lot of things in the way here, so I don't want to run into the light pole, and there's a tree right there, so I'm trying to be a little bit careful. So you'll see me make probably a few missteps here. I got a car coming by, and then we're just going to do a low sweep over the top of the Corvette here and take a look at it. So let's bring the drone down and in. And again, I am moving in a direction here that I'm going to miss a little tree. And we got a skater going by here. We're going to let her go by. You're going to see her here in a second. So, right, there you go. And then we're going to bring the drone down and get it in front of the car here and take a look. We got a couple dogs here that are coming by, so we're going to let them go by here before we get the drone too low. Let's swing around. Had a little breakup on FPV there, but yeah, a couple good looking dogs there. So so let's go back and take a look at the Corvette. I didn't get swung around fast enough, so you didn't really get to see that. Looked like a little, what do they call the hounds that sniff? I can't think of the name of them right now. But anyway, let's drop the drone down and pick up the camera. And, you know, in theory, with downward facing sensors, this guy will go right over the top of the Corvette, even if I'm too low. But let's move it forward slowly, and we'll see. And I've got my eyes on the drone, and it is picking itself up. So it picked itself up so that it didn't. Let's take a look down at the motor here. One of the cool things about the Corvette is, you know, you got that see-through glass, and there's that 6.2 liter engine right there. So, you know what I think we ought to do right now? Let's go back into P mode, and let's do that straight up twisting motion here. So we're going to go up and twist and get a good look there. And let's pick the camera up slowly. There's a light pole, and there's the park. Stop at that rule of thirds. That was kind of a fun little maneuver. We're at 33% battery, so just for the fun of it, let's see what this guy will do. Full speed and P mode. So I am full stick forward now, and I clicked up on the up stick, got us about 30 meters high. And in P mode, we're easily getting to 8.5 meters per second. I'm just telling you, you know, the OG Mini is nothing to sneeze at. I'm just telling you, this is still a really viable drone. And again, I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, the maximum resolution in video on this guy is 2.7K, 30 frames per second. So that's what we're shooting at. Let's go out here a little ways, and then we'll put the drone into return to home, and we'll bring it back to us. I see we're getting close to that orange zone. So I'm going to look at what I'm doing here. Yeah, and I'm getting a little signal interference. I mean, so we're out about 400 meters. And with this particular drone being a Wi-Fi drone, in a challenging Wi-Fi environment like we're in right here, I'd say that's pretty darn good. This drone is not designed to be flying out long distances. So let's kind of get out here over the other, see if we can get out over the other sculpture out here. And we'll do a little kind of a half loop around that guy, and then we'll bring the drone home. How's that sound? So let's kind of see if we can loop around here, drop that camera down just a little. And there we go, that's the other sculpture that's here. And I had a little breakup, so it wants to come to return to home, so we're just going to let it do that. Let's just watch it go into automated return to home here. And yeah, so it's starting to beep. I wish you could stop that beep. You cannot. I've heard people say that you can, but you can't. So anyway, it's on a straight vector back to us here. And we're still at 22% battery, so we're in good shape. It's saying 13 satellites, and I didn't look at it earlier. Typically a DJI drone will get more satellites than that, but in any case, it's certainly enough. The drone knows where it's at in space, and it's coming home at 8 meters per second, which is pretty quick. That's in P mode. Now understand, yeah, so it says low battery returning to home. If you were in sport mode, it's not going to come home any faster. It's going to revert to that P mode. So we'll watch it. That's me dropping the camera as it comes down here. And I had a little breakup on FPV. What I want to make sure we do is miss, you know, the trees or anything there. So we'll see how close it's. Wow. It's coming down right on top of me. So I canceled that. So I'm gonna back it up here a little. Yeah, it wants to come down. We want you to come down a little, Benny. So I'm gonna bring it over the top of the, you know what I'm kind of noticing on this drone too, is the pitch of the props is a little bit different than the other minis. So let's let's just pull the stick right down, and we're gonna bring this guy down on the pad. So there we go, stick straight down. See how close we get here. Looks like we're pretty close. Yeah, and there we are on the pad. And it lifts the camera by itself, as you noticed there. So yeah, let's see, battery percentage, we're at 13% battery, so that's in good shape. We flew, the recorder was on for 17 minutes, so flight time is pretty good. And we need to keep in mind that I did the FlySafe database update on this battery. It wasn't a fully charged battery to begin with, as well as I I had a false start with my GoPro and had to switch out, and the drone was on that whole time. So I'm saying that's pretty good for battery life wise. So let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay guys, the original DJI Mavic Mini, we just had a great flight with it today. We didn't look at any of the intelligent flight modes, but I think I've shown you that this is still a viable product a couple years into it. Well, about 2.5 years into it now, since this drone was introduced. And again, it was a game-changing product when it first came out. And like I said, it's still a viable product. So if you're on a budget and you've only got a couple $100, I think you can find this kit as a refurb, or you can find a used one for maybe even less than that, and I can recommend it. You saw what we did here. Will it fly out 2 miles? No, it won't. It's a Wi-Fi drone. Is it super speedy? No, it won't, but you know what? It's good enough. Can you fly it in 20-mile-an-hour winds? No, you can't. But a little bit of wind is okay, and it does all right. It takes phenomenal video. Again, 2.7K, 30 frames per second. I will put the 2.7K video from this guy up against a lot of other drones' 4K video. It looks that good. So yeah, I guess that's about it. In the time of spending well over $1,000 on a mini drone, think about the original Mavic Mini. You can, I'm sure you can find a good deal on it. So I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And yeah, of course, we're going to see you on the next one. Bye now. Hey, with all the excitement surrounding the upcoming DJI Mini 3, I flew the OG Mavic Mini today, and I also decided to fly the Corvette as well. So yeah, I got a video that I'll be putting out soon. Check it out on my Idaho Quadcopter channel.